Right, hello lads and lasses and welcome back to Boys Down Under. And while it wasn't a demolishing, we scored 3 goals, we got 3 points, and that's all that matters. Today we're going to be covering the game yesterday, Ross County versus Celtic, and we're going to be giving out players' ratings and some key points that we're going to discuss very briefly. Before we get into the video though, we're on the home stretch to 1,000 subscribers, so if you are enjoying the content, please remember to subscribe. It's an absolutely a great milestone, and I would love to hit that in the near future. But without further ado, let's get into it. So we all know what happened. Celtic won 3-0 against Ross County in what was a very, very stubborn game. It took a 64th minute deflected shot from Carter-Vickers to break that deadlock, and then we had Albie and Yeti putting the ball in the netty to score 2 more. Now, a key point from the game that we just need to quickly mention was that Greg Taylor did go down with a shoulder injury, one that actually happened quite a couple games ago. It's a recurring injury, and he did appear in a lot of discomfort, even though the contact was minimal, so very worrying there, but hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. Now, we'll go straight into my players' ratings for the game, and this will only include players who I felt like had enough game time to really put an impact on the game, so the later substitutions we probably won't cover. So, starting off, of course, with the goalkeeper, Jota, I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. I felt that, he was always just so alert trying to get the ball back into play, and then he came up with such a significant save that could have really changed the outcome of the game, and it was just amazing. It was well done from Jota. Great game, great performance from him, 9 out of 10. Moving on to right back, Josip Juranovic, 7.5 out of 10. He did his job and he got up and down the field very well. Look, a couple of hairy moments, but that's expected. And it's not as if he really put our defence under pressure too much. He did well. I'm happy for the lad. 7.5 is good enough for him. Cameron Carter-Vickers, 9.5 out of 10. A clean sheet, a crucial goal, and the only reason he is not getting a 10 out of 10 is because he got nutmegged and sat down by one of Ross County's strikers late in the game, and so therefore I'm sure we can all agree, because of this happening, he only deserves a 9.5 out of 10. The other centre-back, Carl Starfelt, 6.5 out of 10, and honestly I don't know why on earth he gets picked week in, week out, when Stephen Walsh is just there and ready to go. He's too soft in defence, and there is no urgency, and not to mention he cannot play a ball forward. Carl Starfelt has the inability of going forward. He just always has to play back to Joe Hart, which is very, very disheartening to see. Left back, Greg Taylor, 7 out of 10. He played well while he was on the field. He had some nice link up with Jota, and yeah, that is that, 7 out of 10. Montgomery, who came on for for Greg Taylor during the start of the second half, 7.5 out of 10. He brought energy, he brought speed, and he looked the better player between the two. Very marginally, and that's only because of his experience. He didn't look very experienced on the field, but still nonetheless, he brought something that Greg Taylor lacks to bring week in, week out. Moving into the midfield, McGregor, 7.5. Not much to say here. Solid, he just kept a level head in the midfield at all times, and I think he did what he had to do. Nothing impressive, but nothing poor of what his normal standards are. Turnbull, 8 out of 10, and he was probably the best midfielder out of the trio, and I'd say what was a very underwhelming game for all 3 of them. Turnbull still stood out, and for such a player of such young age, he's still really showing class, and I think he'll either get moved to the Prem in the near future or he'll stay with Celtic for life. So hopefully the latter happens there. Tommy Rogic, 6.5. Very, very underwhelming from him. Nothing was working for him today, and it's really disappointing to see. Those threaded passes that usually 9 times out of 10 come off, didn't happen once in that game, and it's a shame because we need him firing on all cylinders for Friday. So hopefully he can rest up and have a great, strong showing then. Leo Labada, 8.5 out of 10. I thought he played really, really well yet again, showing his class for a 19-year-old, and that ball for Yeti's first, the cross in, it was on a dime. It was absolutely pinpoint perfect. You can't really say much more about it. He lobbed the keeper and he got it straight onto a Yeti's head, who just had to put it in from maybe a metre out, I'd say. Jota, 8.5 out of 10 as well. He deserved a goal or assist at least, and me and my dad were absolutely gobsmacked as we saw how easy it was, the ease in which he got past whichever defender was marking him. He just, a quick body feint and he was gone. No one was on him. It was just mesmerising how good he played, and I really honestly think he's going to become one of the fan favourites this season. And then, last but not least, Albion Ayeti, 8.5 out of 10 as well. He persevered throughout the game. You know, he got himself a brace, which he deserved, I guess you could say at the end of the day. He was there when he needed to be. He made the runs. He may not be as quick as Kyogo or have as good as movement, but he certainly filled the gap and did the job he had to. And look, I think it will do him a world of confidence heading into Friday's game, because I honestly can see him playing again on Friday and not having Giacomakis there ready. So fingers crossed Albion Ayeti stays fit until Friday, because we don't have another striker there ready for him. Now, key points to discuss about the game. And the first thing and the most important thing I'll say is Celtic's new signings are proving the difference in this team and in the way we're playing. And it's not just the debutant. It wasn't just Cameron Carter-Vickers and Jota, who were superb, but nonetheless, it's just in general the players who have came in this season, this window, and have just made such a positive difference onto this team. Joe Hart, he sealed Celtic's fate with that save. Leo Abada, what can you say? He was absolutely class yet again. Josip Juranovic had a quiet game, but still did the job he had to do. Was nothing less of average, I'd say. And look, it's such a comparison to last season, where the signings we made, the signings Neil Lennon thought would win us the league, honestly put us backwards. It put us backwards because they were just so poor. Like, you can't, what's the word? You can't say that this season we've made too many signings, because each signing we've made has improved the team in one way or another, 110%. The signings we've made are so crucial to our success. And you know, honestly, if it keeps up like this, we have got gems to look forward to in Liam Scales and Georgios Giacomakis, because they're still yet to debut for the club. And hopefully we see them in action very, very soon. Now, another key point is that it is clear Celtic cannot keep playing Greg Taylor at left back. I hope he has a speedy recovery, and fingers crossed it's nothing too serious, but going forward it has to be Montgomery or Scales at left back. You could just see the energy Montgomery brought to the team and the way he wanted to attack the opposition. He was always looking forward, never stalling. Something that Greg Taylor's game lacks. He doesn't always want to go forward. He is very content in going backwards. Montgomery, he has that youth, he has that pace to not want to do that. And it's so promising, because Liam Scales, yet again, another young bloke, I'm sure he would be loving to take that left back position and always going forward for the team. And look, hopefully one of the two get the nod on Friday. I don't think Greg Taylor will be ready. So I expect Scales to play at left back on Friday, but Postecoglou could do a number and put Juranovic at left back and then bring in back Ralston at right back. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see what Greg Taylor's injury, what the scans show for that. And the third thing, and we'll make it the last thing, is that Celtic can finally play the patient game. Too many times last season, if Celtic got to, say, the 60th minute and they weren't winning or they hadn't scored a goal yet, you didn't expect them to win. And I think I can speak for all Celtic fans in saying that's true, even if they don't want to admit it. But this season, we just saw against Ross County, it took it to the 64th minute to get a goal. And fair play to Ross County, their defence held up. They held their shape, they didn't break. Celtic missed quite a few golden opportunities, I will say that, but still, Ross County, credit to them. But it's so promising to see that we can persevere, we don't let our heads drop. And it's such a great thing to see for the rest of the season going forward, that even if Celtic get to those later stages of the game and we still haven't broken the deadlock, or we're still at 1 or 2 or, we can still win the games, 110%. We scored 3 goals in the last 26 minutes, which is absolutely great to see. Obviously, Ross County's heads dropped at that point, but still, nonetheless, wonderful things from that Celtic team. Postecoglou has them playing great football. They don't stop until the end of the match, and that was very clear and evident last night. But that is all from me. At the end of the day, a win is a win. 3 points is 3 points. At this point in the league, Celtic just need to focus on themselves, because other teams are going to drop points, and we're just going to have to move up slowly by slowly, but we will be at the top by the end of the season. And yeah, Albion Ayeti puts the ball in the netty, and we focus on Friday. Celtic play Real Betis in a must-win Europa League game, kick off our campaign in the best way possible. But until next time, hail, hail.